Hello, I'm Skolbogi here with your LFA co-main event fighter, Amari Sengsavanh, ahead of his upcoming fight at LFA against Carlos Tardio. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing good. And how are you feeling ahead of this upcoming fight? You've not had too much time to process since your last victory.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing new, man. If you see my Tapology, I like to stay really active, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm ready to get back into there. I always think like after I take a fight, I'm going to take some time off, but it's just like I get that itch. I just love being in there a lot. So as far as how I feel, I mean, I'm eager to get in there again, eager to get in there. I've been training really hard. I'm in a really good gym over here, and so I'm always just looking forward to showcase my skills and keep progressing.
And was it a constant weight cut for this event? 'Cause I know with your last fight, that was at like a catch weight 165.
Yeah. So that fight is actually a kind of an anomaly. I had to gain weight for that fight because my opponent came in so much
Yeah.
overweight. And if there's too much of a discrepancy, the commission won't let you fight. So I had to gain weight. So it's not like I walk around less than 160 something or whatever I weighed in. So as far as the weight cut goes, though, I mean, I'm kind of on the lighter side, I think, when it comes to a bantamweight. It's not super hard for me to make 35, and this is a non-title fight, so it'll actually be
Yeah.
36. And so, yeah, 10 days out, I'll probably start my cut and I'll be feeling fresh.
And what have you made so far of your opponent? Obviously, you're not going to give away the whole game plan here, but what do you feel like your main strength is coming into this fight?
Main strength, dude, to be honest with you, I think I got this fight wherever it goes. I mean, he's got a great record. He's 11-2, but when I watched his last couple of fights, there was nothing that seemed too hard for me to deal with. I definitely got to go in. I got to be awake. I can't take it,
Yeah.
I can't be lazy in there against a guy like that. But if I just go in there and I mind my P's and Q's, I'll be taken care of. And so, yeah, wherever that fight goes, I'll be solid. So I just got to go in there and be me. Expression, freedom of expression is the game plan there.
And how good is it to be able to have a fight at your backyard? I know with the event, it is just 30 minutes from your place just now. How good is it to be able to fight that close to home?
Dude, it's awesome. It's awesome. When I was thinking about doing MMA, I always thought about like wanting to travel a whole lot. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, it'd be cool to take all these fights in other places. And I still think it would be cool. But now that I got two kids, I'm married, I don't like being away for too long. So it's always really great being able to fight kind of in my backyard, so to speak. And I'm originally from Oregon, and it's not even too far from that. So it's actually pretty cool. I got a lot of family flying in from there. And yeah, I'm really excited to be putting on a show here at home.
And not only are you putting on the show, you are the co-main event of probably
Yeah.
the biggest organization in North and South America. How big is it not being able to be part of that, but be able to know that they have that confidence for you to put on that show? You're putting it in
Yeah.
the co-main event.
It feels really good. I mean, it was something I was thinking about because my teammate's the main event. I was like, man, I
Yeah.
wonder what it's like to be a co-main event at the very least. Like, what would my record have to be like? What do they even think of me? So it's definitely very like validating seeing that I got that co-main event spot. I was like, oh hey, someone sees value in putting the insurance salesman up there where there's going to be a lot of eyes, and so I'm going to make the most out of the opportunity for sure. I mean, that's what I love about it. I love putting on a show for people, and the bigger the stage, the more eyes on me, the better I seem to perform. And so, yeah, I'm super pumped up to be the co-main.
It's kind of like a full circle moment because 3 years ago you were on that main card in LFA. You're going back to them. How does it feel to just have that coming back show?
Yeah, feels really good. I think you said it wonderfully. A full circle moment indeed. I was 2-0 when I first had my LFA debut, and I remember that being like, okay, this is like where I'm really going to make the decision, like if I'm really going to, make this a career or not, if I'm really going to pursue this. And then I had a spectacular time on my debut. I knocked out a 4-0 opponent. He was this Muay Thai world kickboxing champion. So it couldn't have gone better for me. And that's what actually really solidified just my decision in being a full-time professional MMA fighter. I still got my business going on, but like pursuing it 100%. And since then, I've moved around. We've dedicated our whole lives to this. Me and my family, we moved out from Montana. That's where I was living at the time to the MMA lab out here in Arizona. So yeah, it's full circle. That was like the beginning. I made that commitment, started training, win some fights, got some other regional titles, and now I'm here. Yeah, I'm the co-main event. And so feels really good, man. I can't wait.
And it kind of just shows the level of matchmaking that LFA kind of has. Like you were saying, you're 2-0, facing a 4-0 former champion. You're now here, you're facing an 11-2. They're not just giving you easy fights in the LFA. You know when you're stepping across that cage, you do have a killer in front of you.
Yeah, and that makes it all the more fun to me. I mean, I was talking to my coach about this the other day. It's like, MMA is one of those things where you got to have a good dance partner,
Yeah,
right? If you go in and you're just kind of beating up these dudes that, nothing against them, like if their skill level just isn't on the same as yours or not even close, it's not as fun for me, right? So I'm really
yeah.
excited for this opponent just to be able to showcase my skill set, kind of show people that I can think pretty good in there. I like playing that chess match. I love picking my opponents apart. And so I'm really looking to showcase just not just my athletic abilities, but my brain abilities as well.
Now, in that last fight, you were able to get in there, get out within, I feel like under a minute. How
Oh yeah.
good, how good was that feeling, knowing that you can walk in, walk out, and you've still got a nice, lovely face?
Bittersweet, bittersweet. Because you get in, you get out. Didn't suffer any injuries.
Yeah,
My face is good. I can run appointments for my insurance business the next day. Like, yeah, that's all gravy. But then it's like, man, I trained that whole couple weeks just for 30 seconds of fun time. Because that's what the cage is for me. That's
yeah.
the fun part, right? And so it's bittersweet, bittersweet. So but I know I'm gonna have my challenges in the future. So I always got to remind myself, like, hey, don't mess around in there. If you could put the guy away, just put him away. When I'm in the big show, like the UFC, and they're putting me up against like the top guys in the world, I'm sure that's where I'll be tested, and I can kind of show, put my heart on my sleeve and show people that side of me as well.
And I think it kind of showed that fight that you are willing to take on anyone because you were scheduled to fight at your normal bantamweight, and that fell through. And not only did you get rematched, but you're fighting someone 30 pounds heavier than what it was meant to be. So it kind of just shows your willingness to, you just want to fight.
Yeah, and I do. I do again. I love it, man. And so I think that's my edge. When it's time to perform, I perform well because that's the fun part to me. And yeah, I hope that has some weight to it. These days, getting into the UFC is the main goal, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm always trying to analyze like, hey, what can I do to get these guys' attention to, kind of get on that next stage, that next platform. And so hopefully that's something that they look at and they take that into consideration. It's like, hey, if we add Amari to the roster, he's willing to step in. If there's someone falls out short notice or something like that, throw the insurance salesman in there and he's going to put on a show. Right. And so that's why I'm always staying ready. I'm always staying sharp, getting better every day.
And you kind of brought it up a wee bit earlier on. You are currently training out of the MMA lab that also has got those killers like Canadier and that inside it. How has it been to be able to pick their brains a bit and be able to learn from them?
It's the coolest thing ever, man. It's a dream come true. I mean, I'm a big fan of the sport, and so it was really awesome just going there and seeing so many guys who are in the UFC, and not just in the
Yeah,
UFC, but like top 15,
yeah,
title contenders. And you mentioned Jared Cannonier, but even in my weight class, the smaller guys, the
yeah,
bantamweights,
Baptista.
Oh yeah, Bautista. We got Kyler Matrix in there. We got who else is in the top 15 over there? There's one more. I'm blanking. But just a lot of great competition over there. And even then, like we have like I don't want to say like undiscovered regional guys because they got, pretty good following, but there's just so much talent in
Talent.
that room. Yeah, and it's a big family environment. And so it's not like anyone's keeping secrets from each other. We're all on the same mission, which is like rising tides lift all boats. We're all sharing knowledge, we're all helping each other out. So I think the lab's really got something special. And that being said, on this LFA card, I think we got 8 fighters from the lab, prelims and main card on that card. So it's going to be a good showing for the gym. I'm really excited for that too.
And how has that been to be able to not only have fighters that are currently scheduled to fight, but having all those guys on the same card, being able to go through the weight cuts together, being able to go through the tactics together. How has that been?
Hey, the more the merrier, man. It's always more fun when you got some teammates going in there with you. I think there's an extra layer of like just comfort when the time comes. Just being in a familiar environment, having familiar faces around you. And yeah, I don't know, it's really fun for me. I'm a big teammate guy. I like being part of a team, and so it's really cool. And the vibe, on fight night, it's really interesting because we're all back there in that locker room, right? And
Yeah.
so it's the last time I did this was back in Montana, in our regional scene over there. I think we had like 5 fighters, and it was really cool just sending guys out, and then they come back, victorious or not, it's just kind of a cool just vibe. They go out, they go to war, they come back, go out, go to war, and so I'm excited to go through that process here. This is my first time fighting here in Arizona where there's going to be like more than like one or two other teammates on the card. So yeah, we'll
Now,
see.
now I hear that the current champion, Artem Bellic, he hasn't got a fight scheduled yet. How would it be when if you get the victory here and you get matched up against that champion? How good of a moment would that be for you?
That would be quite the opportunity. So you're saying the bantamweight champion currently doesn't have a matchup for the
No.
LFA? Oh yeah, that's a big shiny belt. I would love the LFA belt. I mean, it's got a great legacy to it,
Yeah.
and I mean, an LFA belt, it's a big deal. And so if I could get that on my resume before going to the UFC, I mean, anything to build the legacy, you know what I mean? So that'd be awesome. Yeah, throw my
And
name in the hat, Scott. If you know anyone over there, it's like, hey, there's this guy. I think he'd be a good contender.
And how active are you wanting to stay? Because obviously this is your second fight of the year. Now you have got the record once you want to get this victory of the Dana White Contender Series short notice call up. You do kind of have that record, but how much are you wanting to just get out there, keep fighting, and if that opportunity comes, welcome it then.
Man, I mean, I'm ready. I mean, obviously it depends on how much damage I take. That's
Yeah,
that's that's a big factor. After I fight, I tend to want to take a couple days just to hang out with the family. I got some family flying out, so a couple days. But if I'm back into it and I'm training, like I'm ready to fight whenever, man. And so I'm a big opportunist. I never say, hey, I'm going to take 3 or 4 fights this year. I just stay in shape and I stay ready. And if a good opportunity comes my way, I'm taking advantage of it. I'm walking through that door, right? And that's kind of how this LFA fight came about. I think I was originally eyeballing like an April return,
yeah.
but then my manager's like, "Hey, we got this guy. He's 11-2, LFA, pretty big show. I mean, you want to do it? Absolutely. Like I think it makes sense." And so fighting's very much like a business like that. So I enjoy that part too.
And how much are you currently like watching the UFC just now?
Not as much as I should be. I don't have a whole lot of time, Scott. I'm training
Yeah,
myself. I'm a father of two. I'm a husband. I like to be present with my family. I got my business going on, and so it's tough for me to kind of watch these full
yeah.
cards. But I'm always eyeballing my weight class. I'm always taking a peek at the bantamweight fights, or if there's like some like entertaining fight that they're promoting. Like I know we got the Mexico card. I'm looking forward to Brandon Moreno and Lone Kavanaugh. I think that's a really interesting matchup. And so, seeing that. But the last card with Sean Strickland, I don't think I caught any of the fights yet. So I just kind of watch him whenever I have the free time.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's quite interesting to see fighters who, like yourself, who are looking at your weight class just to try to see if that opportunity does come arrive to just be able to get ready and just go in with somewhat of a game plan already.
Yeah, yeah. Like right now, I know that they're gearing up to do a card in Seattle, which is like Northwest, Pacific
Yeah,
Northwest, like by Oregon. That's kind of where I'm from. And so, yeah, I'm definitely eyeballing how many bantamweights are on
yeah,
there. And if any fall out, hey, do I have enough notoriety to get my name on the slot? So, yeah, dude, I'm always eyeballing it. And I like to see the level of competition. I mean, that's one of the biggest reason I would think actually that I want to get to the UFC is just test myself against top level competition. I think especially, of course, I'm a little biased because I'm a bantamweight, but at that bantamweight division, I mean, these guys are so talented as far as like the output that they're doing every single round, their footwork, the grappling, the striking exchanges. It's really exciting to watch. So I want to put myself just against those guys so I can really, again, just show off my skills.
exactly. And you did mention the main event this coming weekend of Moreno versus Cavaha. Now, a lot of people have kind of were questioning that matchup. However, if you kind of look at the what is happening, it was like Johnson, he wasn't able to do it due to the damage he took. And it
Yeah.
turns you have got I can't remember the name of the Japanese fighter that was fighting Abazi.
Yeah, yeah.
He was wanting to keep that fight as well as fight Moreno. They weren't allowing that. You then have Tim Elliott who said no. You had Perez who I think said no. So while it is a big difference in rankings, everyone else said no. Cavaha said yes. It is about taking that opportunities when you get given them.
That's what it's all about. 100%. I mean, That's a once in a lifetime
Yeah.
opportunity. Think about it. Unranked, because Kavanaugh's not ranked, right?
No,
Unranked. Hey,
he
you get
just
to go.
lost his ranking this week.
Oh yeah, and see now you get an opportunity to go take on the champ. I mean, so that's kind of where I'm split. As a up and comer myself. I'm really excited for Kavanaugh to take the opportunity. But as someone who's like back in my wrestling days, like I remember being like the number one seed of the tournament,
Yeah.
right? And I know like what it takes to once you get to the top to the work to stay on top, right? And so rooting for Brandon Moreno in that aspect too. So that's why I'm super interested in the fight. That's when those special moments really happen in the sport too. So we'll see. We'll see what goes down.
And how were your wrestling days? Obviously, that NCAA tournament has getting a lot of eyes now, but how was that in starting to have that background into the sport?
It's cool, man. I mean, my coach is always giving me a hard time because I have a college wrestling background. I wrestled NAIA. I
Yeah,
walked on, wrestled D1 for a little bit over at Oregon State and did pretty okay over there. And so, I got good wrestling, but I just don't really use it a whole lot. So right now, that's one thing that they're adding onto my camp. Is just like, hey, here's how they framed it. When you use your wrestling, it's going to open up more striking opportunities for you, which is
yeah.
totally true, right? And so, yeah, it's good to just have that in your pocket. Because I also know like there's killer wrestlers out there, right? That I'm gonna need to at least be able to defend the takedown and get up if they get me down, right? And so it's definitely a good ace in the hole to have that wrestling background.
And speaking about killer wrestling, we do have to mention your division in the UFC. It's starting to go into that new era. Peter Yan is now the champion. He's got those matchups. Does he get the Umar fight? Does he get a rematch against Sean that he claimed for the robbery? You've got Marab, dominant champion. He will be looking for a rematch. How do you rate your division with the upcomers like Batista and that coming through the ranks as well?
Oh, like rank my division, like how tough it would be to.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I genuinely think that if Mario Bautista made like um like a sprint for it, because we're already in February. I know it's only 2 months in, but time goes by quick. You know what I mean? I mean, if
yeah.
he gets this fight against like Sanhagen, and he wins that, I think that sets him up for a title shot by the end of the year if he wants it. And I do think that Mario's such a well-rounded, hard worker. I mean, this could be his championship year if he wanted it to be. You know what I mean? If the stars align and the right opportunity showed up, I think Mario has the skills to take advantage of it. So I think he's right up there. I think if you put Mario against Sean, I think if you put him against Piotr Jan, I think if you put him up against Maram, I mean he'd have a solid shot. And you saw Marcus McGee. That's the other guy I was forgetting to mention. Marcus McGee in the bantamweight division. He fought Piotr Jan and did pretty darn good. He made Piotr want to hold on to him that last third round. And so when it comes to the striking, I mean, he was right there with him. So yeah, I mean the bantamweights here, dude, I'm telling you, it's a killer room to be in. So I'm glad they're
And
on my side. I'll say that.
what did you make of Batista's last performance? Because obviously he was against Oliveira. There's a lot of hype coming behind him. People were kind of underestimating Batista. Oh, he lost to Umar. Is this going to be
Mhm.
starting to decline? They just shut them all up with that second round
Dude,
stoppage.
it was beautiful. That was like some of the most beautiful MMA I've ever seen. And again, I get the pleasure of seeing this guy go to work every single
Yeah.
day. And I remember just like watching him throughout his camp, just how focused he was and how much work he was putting in and how just sharp and crisp he looked. I was like, dude, there's no way Mario's losing this fight. And then for him to go out there and have a performance like that, which is pretty much a flawless performance, I would say. It's definitely well deserved, and that's why I'm so excited about him in his future because he's already back in the gym training, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it was awesome. Really
And
inspiring performance too.
yeah, I'm going to say, does it kind of show the heart that even after a performance like that, there's still no rest days? He's back in the gym already, looking for that next matchup.
Yeah, I mean it's a great role model to have, right? That's one of the best things about being in the MMA labs. You got these high level guys and you get to see them work, right? And so it sets the standard, right? I mean, you got these guys who are wanting to get to that point. They're basically showing us exactly how it's done, right? It's like, hey, you want the success that Mario, Jared, Marcus, all Kyler, all these guys that are having in the UFC right now, then you got to put in the work that they're doing, right? So it's great to just have them around as role models like that.
And what was it that got you from, obviously you come through that wrestling, What was it that made you go into MMA after that career?
After wrestling, what made
Yeah,
me get into MMA?
yeah,
Oh man. Well, it's kind of a long story. I mean, after wrestling, I was just like, all right, time to be an adult. You know what I mean? So I started my financial services business. That's why my fight name is the insurance salesman, because I
yeah.
do like insurance and investments and stuff. And long story short, me and my wife, we just moved to Montana just to kind of get away from the where we're at in Portland, Oregon. And I just needed to meet some folks. And I think my wife got tired of having me around the house too. And so I just literally Googled MMA gyms near me and I found an MMA gym. The closest one was actually ran by a guy named Joe Riggs. And I don't know if you know Joe Diesel Riggs. He's an old UFC legend that I watched growing up as a kid. But we just clicked right away, got connected with him, and within 2 months of training, I'm one of those guys like, hey, if I'm training, I might as well go compete, go test my skills, right? Instead of just being the guy who spars all the time. And so took some amateur fights, took 6 amateur fights that year. Then I went pro because I was like, I might as well get paid if I'm doing this. And then I would say it was that LFA fight that we were talking about when I was 2-0. I knocked out Kibeti Gordon. I was 3-0 now. I was like, wait a minute. I think this is something that I could, if I take it seriously, I can turn it into a serious career for myself. So long story, but that's how we got there.
And obviously, you talked about your teammate being part of that main event fight. How do you kind of see that fight going?
I don't know too much about his opponent, but I know Christian. I know Christian, and I know he works hard every single day. He's always working to, get better every single day. And in the end, I don't think it really matters who your opponent is. I mean, that's what this journey is. Just
Yeah.
can you get better every single day? Can I be better today than I was yesterday? And that's something that Christian does all the time. He's always looking for ways to improve. He's putting in the work. He's sweating. So yeah, I definitely see him getting his hand raised. That's just the natural order of things. You know what I mean? There's no discounts, there's no shortcuts. You put in the work, there's no guarantees. That's the fight game, but the odds I would say are in his favor.
And Christian does have that great story behind him as well. Also, he
Mhm.
did have that two-year layoff and then came back. So it kind of does show that while you do have that gap, there's no such thing as really ring rust. You can get straight
Yeah.
back into it and get back to winning ways.
Yeah. Everyone's different, and so that was something that people are asking me because it was a little bit
Yeah,
of a hiatus before my last fight. And I was like, dude, ring rust has never really been an issue for me. I don't really have like I wouldn't say like because I have like nerves, like there's definitely a feeling. But if I were to describe it, it would be more of like an eagerness. Like I'm eager to get in there. Because before you fight somebody, there's just a bunch of questions. What's gonna happen? Did I train enough? Is my cardio good? Is he gonna throw something crazy and maybe I get caught? So all these questions in your head. But once you get in there, it's all answers, right? So I'm always just kind of eager to get in there. And so as far as Christian's mindset or anybody else's, I mean, I don't know, but that's the beauty of the sport. You get to really get to see people's, personality shine through in that aspect as well.
and after you get the victory, how are you celebrating this win?
Oh, you got to watch. You got to watch and tune in. Yeah, if you guys want to see what antics Amari is going to pull off after I get my hand raised, then you got to, just tune in. Tune in. I think it's on Vice TV. Vice TV. Come get your tickets. Find me on Instagram. You can buy tickets on my link there. That'll help me pay my rent on time.
Exactly. And make sure you guys tune in and you can watch Amari get the victory and make sure that LFA has to book that fight against the champ. It's a fight that we all want to see. Artem, if you're watching, you better be shaking in your boots. Amari's coming for you. And we can't wait to see you get the victory. Is there anything you'd like to add or anyone you want to shout out?
Just shout out to my team, my family, my sponsors. I mean, yeah, it's like a lot of people they see me in a cage, but what I think a lot of people don't realize is just how much of a team sport this actually is. So I love all you guys. I'm a product of my environment. When all is said and done, and if you guys want to be a part of it, find me on Instagram. I'm starting to do TikToks and stuff now. Just type in the insurance salesman, you'll be able to find me. And yeah, come be a part of the journey. We're having fun over here.
And we can't wait to see you get the victory. Thank you so much for coming on.
You the man, Scott.